Hey everyone, welcome back to Quinn's Cars. Today we have one of the most exciting cars that I will ever drive. This is the Ferrari 296 GTB. The lineage of Ferrari can be traced all the way back to 1929 when Enzo Ferrari created the racing team Scuderia Ferrari. And you can see that represented in the badge here with the SF badging. The horse actually representing one of the World War I Italian fighter pilots' coat of arms that represented the integrity of the Italian people during World War I and meant a lot to Enzo's family. Now the yellow is actually represented in this badging as well, and that's actually integrated from the flag of Modena, Italy, where Enzo Ferrari was from. Ferrari is all about the combination of art and beauty mixed with function and performance, and you can see that in the architecture of this car. There are so many slots for air to allow cooling, not only with the brakes, but with the engine as well. With the lighting, you can see this beautiful slash design that adds this extreme pop of white off this red color. And then it has this beautiful jewel design with the LED headlights that are next to this slash daytime running light. Again, with the architecture of this car, you can see below the daytime running light slashes, there's actually a little opening that allows air to go next to the light through that hole and cool the brakes. I love the angular, aggressive style of these headlights. What a lot of people call this T-tray is the front splitter and front bumper that sticks out to allow downforce. On the side, there's pockets for air, and then there's air that's allowed through this honeycomb hexagonal mesh that also allows for cooling. Even if someone knows absolutely nothing about this vehicle, you have to appreciate the architecture and the beauty of it, because they really do make something that is clearly heavily designed to have several air intakes. They have multiple wings, they have curves, and the entire thing is based off of aerodynamics. These wheels are 20-inch wheels with carbon ceramic brake rotors, and the front are the 398mm rotors, and the back have the 360mm rotors. Very huge wheels and serious stopping power. There's a hidden wing along the roof as well. It's more of like a roof spoiler that also again adds downforce, and it just looks really incredible that they've integrated it in the roof like this. The rear has areas where through this mesh it can cool the engine, and as well has an active wing that helps with downforce and will go up and down depending on how fast you're going to really calibrate your handling. It has this amazing center exhaust that just looks straight off a Batmobile. The curves along the sides of these fenders are just absolutely incredible. You have smoked glass over your engine bay, you have that amazing center exhaust, and then you have that iconic Ferrari chrome badging right in the center. The sides, you can see the hexagonal mesh mixed with hexagons built into the bodywork as well. These taillights have a really slim, modern design that look really futuristic, and that rear diffuser is insane. Now this Ferrari is really designed to be something that is meant for the future. It has a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 combined with that hybrid electric motor, putting 819 horsepower to the wheels, 546 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. Now, this is super important because it is one of the engine types that, with the hybrid power and the V6 engine, has been a little bit controversial, but truly is an incredible experience to drive. Nobody gets a Ferrari and wonders how much cargo space it has, but just in case you're wondering, the front trunk has 7 cubic feet of space, and it has cool Ferrari tools that are in these specialized bags on the side, and then a plaque in the back where personalization specifications are placed on your Ferrari specifically. You have nice material on the doors, red stitching brought in from that red color on the outside, Alcantara, metallic materials, and a button to actually access the lock to get out of your vehicle. You have this aluminum classic looking sill that says Ferrari. And then you have carbon bucket seats, very focused race seats that are essentially just padding attached to carbon fiber. Rear visibility is pretty much non-existent, so just keep that in mind. More carbon fiber is brought into this center area here. You have chrome as well that mimics this gated manual feel. You basically press up or press down on each of these engagements, and it shoots a laser to let you know which engagement or which gear that you're in. You have a fire extinguisher in case of emergencies. This key looks like a piece of jewelry. It's just this beautiful colored metal on the front, and then the back is finished in this leather. You have the lock and unlock, very simple, very minimal. Again, like a piece of jewelry, really beautiful. When you get in, there's actually a little slot to put your key, and makes it really nice so that your key doesn't get all scratched up. You can just set it right in this little slot, and then it sits there looking right at you while you're driving. You have a beautiful carbon fiber steering wheel with leather and red stitching, and then you have all the controls you could possibly want on your steering wheel, mainly being the Manatino settings for the dynamic drive modes. You have eDrive, Hybrid, Performance, and Qualify, and then you have your Manatino dial that controls wet, sport, and race, and that will change your suspension and traction control types to basically prioritize what type of driving you need to do. There's this kind of cross pad that navigates through the menus, and then you have your AC controls on the side, and your passenger has a screen as well where they can see your tach, navigation, and media. The center screen is where you can see information on your tach, miles per hour, navigation, media, and even information with your boost, driving capabilities, G-force, pretty much any performance information that you could possibly need, including information on your battery and charging levels. Ferrari's idea with this was to basically have everything at your fingertips so that if you're in a performance driving mode, you have everything right in front of you and you don't have to look over at a screen. Not a traditional door handle. You actually have to grab the handle, press this button, and then it disengages a latch to let you out.
This car is built around responsive. Everything is razor sharp and immediate. So you touch brake, you stop.
Yeah.
You touch gas, you go. And,
when I was watching a review about this, they talk about how it's like borderline twitchy, especially with the electric response, but also like just torquey enough that you can enjoy it. It's interesting. It's punchy, but it's like manageable. It's not. I almost wondered if it, with this much horsepower and the electric, if it was going to be like overwhelming. But it's really like if you want it to be composed, it'll be composed.
Being mid 500s torque, the torque curve is extremely flat across the whole plane, which makes it feel really like a go-kart would be. And just going straight. Yeah, look at that.
It's interesting because when I was doing research on the Roma, especially being in like the same category, the same year, you have that like misconception of the V8 automatically representing more power, and it doesn't.
Nope.
Like the responsiveness is, I imagine, way better, especially with the electric component. And then you have the twin turbo V6, even though the Roma has the twin turbo V8. But yeah, 612 versus 819 is a pretty huge leap.
The 3-liter V6 versus a 3.9-liter V8, that's only 0.9 liters displacement difference.
True.
And the Roma ran only about 1 bar, so it's a lot less boost.
True.
This is Highway 11, take a right.
Okay.
But it'll hold the gear.
Yeah, I was waiting for that gear indicator, but it holds really nice. Again, try not to go too crazy.
It's okay. But feel free to, you could downshift a little. Like 1 or 2.
Honestly, I don't even know why you would go SF90. Like, I know we were talking about it a little bit, but like SF90, you know, what is it, like 980 something horsepower? And yeah, it's just like 1,000 horsepower, but for over double the price. I think they start at like 700K.
Yep. You would do an SF90 if it was more like road rally cruising stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is much more of a fun track tossable oriented car.
Straight.
Yeah. Than the SF90 is.
And it's interesting because like this one is rear wheel drive, but it doesn't feel that way. It almost has like the grip of all wheel drive.
It's just accessible power.
Yeah,
like it's so accessible. You feel like you can get it and crank out lap times that other cars would envy by letting just all the electronics do it for you. Yeah. And it feels, so there's a balance there. You know, yes, you can turn everything off and better hope your insurance policy's up to date.
Yeah.
But in terms of, would I let my wife drive this in the rain? The answer is yes, I would.
And that's the interesting part too, is like, when I was looking up the kind of like information about like the SF90 and Roma versus this car, it really kind of made me think, like, especially with the level of horsepower and how much more expensive it was, it's almost like the only reason you would even get the SF90 is if you have like an abundance of time and an abundance of money. Yep. Because if you're putting time into a track constantly, then it's worth it. But again, like, you would have to like justify so much time at a track to justify that much of a price increase.
Absolutely.
I love the steering wheel too. Like, I know the flat bottom is pretty common for like cars of this caliber, but I just like the size of it. Like, the grip feels really nice. Oh, oh, I'm sure that never gets old.
Never. Not ever.
There is not one day that goes by where you stomp on that pedal and that gets old. I've heard mixed things about ownership, and I think like some people try to throw out their own I guess like experiences and say that that's like the general experience.
So the ownership experience has been really, really great. The 7 years free maintenance, having everything under warranty, they come pick it up to service it. And really that's a shout out to Foreign Cars Italian in Charlotte, because they have been unbelievably awesome in working with really a scared newbie like me, you know, getting into these cars.
Right.
But I think Ferrari gets a little bit of a bad rap because there's only so many special editions to go around.
Sure.
And, you know, if you were to ask any random car kid, you're like, hey, you know, you could pick any Ferrari, you have the money, which one would you want? What would they all pick? The SFXX or the
my
Enzo or an F40 or an F50 or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, production numbers, you know, depending on how many they actually made versus not, they always make a few more than they claim they do.
Right.
But everybody would want the special editions, and nobody goes for the lower things.
Yep.
So whenever you are walking into a Ferrari dealership and you say, hey, I'd like a Ferrari, and they say, sure, what kind would you like? And you name one of those things that they may get one allocation for in the next 3 years. So
yep.
Are they going to give you that allocation, or are they going to give it to someone who has bought 4 or 5 cars with them in the past?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Almost like a credit-based kind of reputation thing straight through.
Sure, yeah. So,
wow, that pulls like crazy. Holy shit.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
If you're someone like Jay Leno and you have no reputation or history with Ferrari, then Ferrari doesn't seem to care, because what has Jay Leno done for Ferrari?
True, right? True. Yeah, fair.
And as much as we love Jay Leno, and he's so important in the car community, and he's got his show, he's done so much to advance the habit, hobby, and cause.
Right.
I have more pull with Ferrari than he does, because this is my second one.
Right. Yeah.
And Ferrari wants to see first-time owners. They want to keep it an aspirational brand. They want to keep it accessible for, you know, doctors, lawyers, you know, small business owners, people who did fairly well, and they would rather see more individuals owning one Ferrari than one guy owning 17.
Right.
So, but I don't want to play the collector's game. I want to actually have a car I can drive and not be too terrified to actually own it.
Yeah. That drives me crazy when I see a bunch of ultra rare cars sitting in a garage.
Oh yeah, it's just heartbreaking. Doing. I don't think they're engaging the youth, kind of like Lamborghini is. You know?
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
So you're getting a lot of influencers, you're getting a lot of young folks, you're getting a lot of people who are new to the car scene, and they go gaga over Lambo, and they don't really know what to do with Ferrari.
Yeah, I do think there's like that misconception that it's almost like untouchable, and you do see a lot of younger influencers, especially now that I'm starting to do this. I'm noticing more and more McLarens and Lamborghinis, and like it's interesting that like certain vehicles are now becoming more of a household name, like McLaren. I feel like when I was growing up, I saw the McLaren P1 for the first time, and it blew my mind. I'd never seen anything like that. And then all of a sudden, I feel like you see the 570S, the 720, even some of the rarer models like the Speedtail. Like McLaren has just become more of a name that you know rather than Ferrari, even though Ferrari has a way longer lineage.
Absolutely. If you think of it from just a perspective of one of the most influential people for cars who ever lived, you know, Enzo's definitely up there.
Oh yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Everybody knows the story with Ferruccio Lamborghini and how that spawned, and then Ferruccio went and did the same thing to Horacio Pagani.
Right.
You know, essentially.
Yeah.
And now, you know, now Pagani's a thing because of that.
Wow. The handling is so sharp. And again, such crazy grip.
Feel the beans a little bit.
Yeah. I'd like to push it a little bit, but also, you know.
I get it.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, yep.
And then if you press it a little harder, it'll make it.
Oh boy. Okay, that's a sharp.
We'll pull in right here.
That backfires amazing. That's so cool that the passenger can see the tach.
So I'm going to get in the boost just a touch here.
Okay.
So let me line up straight. And we'll just kind of roll into it.
Holy f***. Holy wow. Okay.
So the maximum G's is actually higher with each gear as you go up.
Okay.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry, bounced off the rev limiter there.
Okay. Woo! Holy. Holy. Wow. Woo!
Yeah, this is the last time Quinn rides with me.
Wow. It pulls your organs back into the seats. Woo!
So now for a complete change of pace. Welcome to electric only.
That is wild. You said 15 miles electric.
Yeah, well,
wow.
Yeah. So right now, this is electric only. I got 8 miles left on this until we have to recharge.
Okay.
But you get about 170 horsepower here, and this is the full beans. on electric only. So it pulls enough to get you around and drive to work with never using any gas.
Yeah.
But obviously it's not an EV.
Right. It's not going to be a Tesla.
No, definitely not. Man, you know, that's a lot of boost. So turbo lag is horrific, and that's what the electric is there for.
Yeah.
Just filling that turbo lag.
Yeah, as much as people want to hate on the V6 electric combo, I think it's kind of the perfect compromise, especially if you're going to go turbo.
And they just seem to have a problem with Ferrari going V6.
Yeah.
Even though Ferrari has a long history of solid V6s.
True.
Ranging back from the F1 days to the Dino days.
The Dino,
and all those. But no one cares that Porsches are all 6-cylinders. No one cares the GTR is a 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
No one cares the Supra is a 6-cylinder. It's just your Ferrari. You can't have a 6.
And you would think, like you said, like Porsche would have like demonstrated that pretty obviously by now. I remember one of the first cars that I really tried to learn on was my father-in-law's 2002 Porsche Boxster, which has a flat 6. And that car, it's funny because like even though you get a flat 6, it only has I think like 240 horsepower. But even with 240 horsepower, like if you know what you're doing and you're handling it in the curves, like I feel like you can have plenty of fun with any displacement, as long as like your focus is on the engineering and the handling, which Porsche is really good about.
Absolutely.
I can hear the turbos kicking in, yeah.
Just a slow and smooth, third throttle.
Yeah.
Just get it up to 80 and a 35. You should probably not do that.
The power band is so smooth though. Like I know what you mean as far as like it being linear like that. God, driving a Ferrari in general, but specifically driving that 296 GTB it's a dream come true. Like in all seriousness, it's one of those cars that I will remember for the rest of my life. And it's one of those cars too that is very difficult to compare to any other vehicle that I've ever driven or anything like it. It's weird because no matter what type of vehicle you look up, you're going to find some misconceptions or some controversies with it. And with the 296 GTB being the V6 hybrid electric and gasoline combination, you definitely have that controversy of not having a higher displacement, not having a V8, a V12, for engines that Ferrari is known for. That being said, at 819 horsepower, it is one of the most powerful vehicles that you can get, and especially dollar to horsepower ratio, you would struggle to find something better than that. Thank you guys again for watching. It is a beautiful day out here, and it's been an insane, exciting day driving a Ferrari next to this beautiful lake. Like, it's hard to remind yourself sometimes with all the craziness going on. Little moments like this are things that you'll remember for the rest of your life. And I hope you guys had as much fun. You didn't have as much fun as I did driving it, but I hope you have fun watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out my merch if you want. It is on sale right now, and there are several new designs. And thanks again, guys, for watching. All right, thank you. Bye.